All right. Joining us now to talk about all this, former White House Strategic Comms Director Mercedes Schlapp and Charlie Hurt, Fox News contributor, Washington Times opinion editor. Mercedes Schlapp, I want to ask you this. Do you believe that any person in his or her right mind believes that the path to lower inflation is through a $4 trillion spending bill? Okay, I just ask you, put your economist hat on.
Well, first of all, it's really intimidating for me to have to put my economist hat on when I'm talking to the man who pretty much taught me everything I needed to know about the economy. So if I were to put Larry Kudlow's economist hat on, I would say, no way, Jose.
Right.
You can't spend your way out of these problems. The spending is going to put an enormous amount of stress, causing more consumer prices to go up. And as you know, Larry, being the real economist in this panel, the reality is we're already seeing these suppliers that the waiting lines are longer for them to be able to get what they need to the businesses. And as we see this pent-up demand continue to grow, it's very problematic for them not to stop this inflation. And I know Biden's trying to call this short term, but we know, Larry, this is not going to be a short-term problem.
See, Charlie, I don't even want to look at it as an economist. I misspoke. Just an ordinary humanoid, you know, middle class, living in the middle of the country someplace. And you got the president saying $4 trillion of new spending is going to solve inflation. And in the last segment, we had Dan Clifton, smart fella. He's showing polls. The public now is more worried about inflation than unemployment. A complete change in the attitude. And the answer by the president is, let's spend another $4 trillion and solve the problem. I mean, really, anyone in their right mind believe that?
Yeah, no, it's incredible. You really don't have to be an economist to know that the president is lying here at best. But I have to say that sort of the silver lining here is at least finally they're talking about it. Because for months now, they've refused to talk about it, and people like Don Lemon were refusing to ask questions about it, even as you point out, when you go out and talk to regular people across this country, and they're not economists, they're going to the grocery store to buy stuff, or they're going to the gas station to buy stuff. And I understand that energy is probably a little bit different, but it's the same sort of, it's the same feeling for people who are laying out huge amounts of money for their grocery bill or their gas bill. People have been worried about this for months, and the White House has been flat out lying about it. And a lot of people in the more partisan press has been loath to even ask any questions about it. And then, as you noticed, when Biden started spouting all that nonsense about it, he didn't even get pushed back on it.
Yeah.
It's just sort of, it's almost like they're putting it out there so that he can sort of give an answer and then move on.
Yeah, you know, it's the old adage, you can't fool all the people all the time. I'm sorry. Americans are too pragmatic. As Mercy said, it's showing up in everyday goods and services. I don't know if it's going to be temporary or not. It almost doesn't matter. It is what it is. Mercy, I've got another one. Just, again, good old practical common sense. Would anyone in their right mind believe that greenlighting a Russian pipeline in Europe to Vladimir Putin, but ending American oil production and pipelines here is a good thing? Does anyone really believe that? Just on the face of it.
Well, apparently the liberals believe that, and Joe Biden believes that. And it's really unfortunate because I'm sure you remember, Larry, the Trump administration was highly criticized by saying that they weren't tough enough on Russia, despite the fact that we had put tough sanctions on Russia. And here you have President Biden, that you have the Russians and the Chinese looking at us and saying, I smell weakness. This is a weak president. This is a president willing to cave in. And the mere fact is that while Biden has been focused on eliminating, for example, the Keystone Pipeline, by forcing his climate change agenda everywhere he can in every piece of legislation and putting pressure on our energy industry, it really, I think, is very unfortunate, and it hurts not only our economy, but also the fact that we are then becoming energy dependent. That, as we know, is not a formula for success or strength in America.
Foreign energy dependent. Foreign energy dependent. We were running a surplus. Now we're going back to where we were 10, 15 years ago. See, Charlie, I'm trying to look at this, take away the experts and the policy apparatus and the economists and so forth who cook up these theories, just as ordinary folks. This election will be decided by ordinary folks, and I'm suggesting that President Biden's assertions and actions are not credible. Now, besides the White House and various liberals and lefty progressives in the media, who believes this stuff? That's what I'm asking, Charlie. Who honestly believes this stuff?
Yeah, well, that's what's really alarming about all of this is just like with the inflation issue and the same with the Nord Stream issue, a lot of these things, the most basic questions aren't getting asked of the administration there are a few of us in the media who are pressing a lot of pressing for answers about a lot of these things, but a lot of people in the media are not, and they're taking this stuff at face value out of the administration, and they're flat out lies. But as you point out, at the end of the day, these are things that regular Americans, regular voters can see with their own eyes, and they can see it at the pump, and they can see it at the grocery store, and that's the kind of thing that moves voters at election time. And I also think it's that's partly why the administration has begun trying to talk about some of these things, but they don't have good answers.
No,
all of their answers are only making things worse.
And what answers they'll come up with, or one would come up with, they won't like. Because the answers are all about restraint, right. Okay? Not 24/7 spending and borrowing. That's the thing. We'll leave it there. I just think, it's very important. Mercy, perhaps I don't know who said this. You probably said this because it's very important. You can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time. I'm just going to give you that, Mercedes Schlapp, in quotes. But that's a lesson that this White House has not yet learned. How's that? Charlie, if you take offense, I'll let you take credit for the thing, too, next time. We appreciate you both coming on and hope to see you both soon, Mercedes Schlapp and Charlie Hurt.
Good to see you guys.